Hello, hello. Hi there, and welcome again to the MoJo Show. I am Susan K. Morrow-Johnson, your friendly neighborhood MoJo medium, and welcome once again to the MoJo Show live here on Facebook. It's very exciting. I've got to make sure that I've got everything set up for you so that we can have a decent broadcast. Ah, there she is. There is that woman. I thought I told you to turn the sound off, phone. See, I've got to have that set up so that I can see your comments. Let's see here. Do I have, yes, I want to show your comments as well. So when you comment on this video below, your comment will show up on the screen and everybody can see what you're trying to say, including me. So we're going to look at that, and we're also going to look at that. Hi, Allie. Welcome. I'm so glad. I appreciate you being here. First time, every time. I really love having you, and I love knowing that you're out there. I feel supported. So thank you very much for being here, Allie. And if you want to sign up for the email reminders, I'll tell you and I'll tell everybody else. All you have to do is comment below with remind me. Hold on a second. Let's see here. Remind me. Yes, comment below with remind me, and you'll be taken to, I'll send you a link. You'll have to go into, it'll come in Messenger on Facebook, and then you will say, remind me again, and I'll send you the link to go to the website, sign up for those email reminders of the show. Pretty soon, I'm going to stop sending them to just my regular list for the little quickie reminders, and I just want to send those to people who really want them. So I know that, you can get a reminder on Facebook, which is great, and Facebook comes out and tells you, when I've gone live, and that's great too. So in the meantime, if you sign up for the email reminders, that's just another easy way to get a reminder. Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome to the MoJo Show. Once again, I am Susan K. Morrow-Johnson, your MoJo medium. Find me on the web at mojomedium.com. I didn't get out my little flashcards today because I've got the deal. Hold on a second. Okay, let me put that down, mojomedium.com. I'm going to show you that. And that's where you find me on the web. Today I'm drinking a homemade mocha out of a Denver coffee cup. There was a time in my life when my older daughter was in grad school in Denver. She went to the University of Denver. And so I would go and visit her and do some work while I was there. And I hung out at the at Isis Books on, I think it's on Broadway there in Denver. So if you're in Denver, you know probably what I'm talking about. It was a great little shop, and they had rooms for private readings, and they had rooms for bigger workshops. I did a meditation class there one time. That was cool. What was interesting was that after I taught the students how to do the meditation, that's in my book. Hold on, here we go again. The Super Easy Meditation Guide for people who can't meditate, which I wrote specifically for people who think they can't meditate. You can. So anyway, after I taught that class, or as part of it, I did a guided meditation with the students. And so I was doing it myself, and we talked about it, and then there was some quiet time. Well, as usual, I kind of floated off, and it was like I was just gone, I'm off in, Narnia or something. And yeah, that was a little tricky to come back and go, oh, right, there are people here waiting for me to tell them to come back. So I figured out that if I'm going to do a guided meditation, which I might do here on the show sometime, but if I'm going to do it, I'm not going to actually participate. I'll just guide you. So you may have seen my post yesterday that ding, 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 ding. I got my hair cut. So I'm pretty excited about it. I feel very cute today, very confident. Everything's good. So welcome to my haircut, I guess. Okay, we've got a lot to do today. The main thing I want to do today is, besides the angel card readings that I'm going to give you, is to tell you about some of the wow moments that I've experienced as a medium or as a psychic, both. So like I said, in addition to angel card readings, and thank you, Allie. I'm enjoying it. Oh, I have naturally curly hair. And if you're old enough to know what that was about, you're not Allie. Okay, so what we're going to do today is share those wow moments. And then next week, is going to be Manifestation Week. Next week is Manifestation Week. I'm going to do a whole show about manifestation and some things that I have manifested recently. I almost said manifestated. It's kind of like when people say orientated. No, manifested recently. I was telling you about Denver. Denver is a great city. I mean, really, if it weren't so far from the beach and water, I would really want to drag my husband up there and live there because it's a great city, and just the whole area is really, really neat. When I was growing up, one of my best friends in life, he and his family lived in Greeley, which is outside of Denver, about 45 miles, maybe 60 miles. And we grew up best friends in two separate states. You know, our parents knew each other before we were born, and after we were born, we just hit it off. And so we visited them a lot. And even as a teenager, I would go and visit him by myself. He'd come and visit me by himself. And, you know, our families would host us and take us to places. We'd take him to Astroworld. He'd take me to Elitch's Gardens, you know, that kind of thing. So anyway, I find that Denver has a lot of really nice, open-minded people, open-hearted people, very good people of all manner of being. So I had a good time visiting there and working there. I did, not only did I do that meditation class, but I also did some private readings there, book signing there at Isis Books. And one time I was asked to serve on a panel, and I can't remember now. It's like the woo-woo consortium of Colorado or something. I mean, it's a legitimate intuition school or something like that. But they were doing a panel discussion on 2012, I think it was, about the predictions for 2012. Do you remember that? You remember when they were, everybody was talking about the Mayan calendar ended in 2012? Oh my God. And we were all trying to figure out what that meant. So we did a panel of it. Oh, hi, Julian. You said, sorry for your earlier comment. I didn't see your earlier comment. It must have been that you were not finding the live, right? Okay. So hi, Julian, and welcome. I'm glad to see you. I will mention again, if you comment below with remind me, you'll get a private message in Messenger that where you can say remind me again, and I will send you the link to sign up for email reminders of the show. And that it will be live, hopefully. You know, if you do that, I usually just recommend that you refresh the page if you're not seeing the video, you know, but Facebook will come along, you know, and remind you if you sign up for the reminders. Yeah, sign up for my newsletters and you'll just have everything. You can do that on the Psychic Susan K Facebook page. There's a place that says sign up, and it'll take you right to the newsletters. You can sign up for that. You can sign up for the reminders by putting remind me in the comments below. Oh, and let's not forget that I love the thumbs up likes and the heart loves and the oh wows and the laughter if you think I'm funny. That reminds me, my mom, okay, so you probably have never seen me in the same thing twice. And I do really enjoy clothes. I like clothes a lot. And I'm kind of a clothes horse, but I only shop cheap. I hardly ever. Hi, Melissa. Glad to have you. Thank you. I'm enjoying it so much. I feel so cute. I feel so sophisticated, you know, like I'm special or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I have this other blog. Hi, Pamela. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. You've got a lot going on in your life right now. And I hope that we'll have a chance to catch up soon because, wow, you're really making some big changes. And yeah, I think that your 2017 must be your year of change. Hopefully things will settle down pretty soon, but I don't know. You may not be through yet. I know that I've got a lot of change going as well, but what I'm finding is that my theme for the year, I have two themes for this year. One is inspiration. Wow, have I been inspired. And I'm off track here, but I'm going to get back on track in a minute. Y'all know, I'm sorry about that. I know that makes a noise. Y'all know that this is my Bible at the moment, right? I've got two bookmarks in it for places I'm working on. They are, remember I told you I like to shop cheap and look cute? These are coupons for Payless shoes. Yeah. So anyway, back to my clothes. I do like to shop cheap and look cute, and I have a blog by the same name. It is Cheap cheapcute.blogspot.com. Here, I'll put that on there for you. cheapcute.blogspot.com, and I can actually put that in the comments for you later if you really want that link. I mean, it's nothing, but if you like clothes and you like writing and you like pictures of me posing in my cute cheap clothes, I don't know, there you go. Okay, so cheapcute.blogspot.com. So my mom says, Susan, you have got so many clothes. You have way too many clothes. I'm like, I don't think there's such a thing as, what is this too many clothes you speak of? And she said, you've got more clothes than God. And then she thought about it. She said, you've got more clothes than the Virgin Mary. And I said, Mary, she doesn't have anything. She doesn't have anything good. She just wears that same old blue thing everywhere she goes. Oh. Hold on a second. Let me tell that one again. She just wears that same old blue thing everywhere she goes. I mean, she wore it to Lourdes, and she wore it at Guadalupe, and the crucifixion. Yeah. And she's always dragging that baby around wearing nothing but swaddling clothes. But you'd think that she could, step into Walmart or Target or something once in a while, get him something cute to wear. I mean, her son is supposed to be a king, right? You'd think maybe you give her a stipend or something once in a while, right? Stipend for Mary? Okay, that's good. So that's my mom. That's her opinion. But my dad, my parents are old, and they've been divorced a long time. But they're old. I mean, face it, they're old. They're in great shape, but they're old. And so my dad really would like to maybe move into a retirement community where he could go into an assisted living if necessary, So I said, okay, well, I'll help you look at places. So I took him out to this new place in Houston, downtown. It's called Geyser Towers. And yeah, you're slow, but you're good. And it was a really nice place, but it was a little pricey. And there was a woman there like me who was apparently with her dad. And she must have thought it was too expensive because she goes, I could hear her talking to the salesman. She goes, can't we just put him down? We put the dog down. This place is expensive. So, okay. So there you go. That's my comedy. My dad's going to stay in his senior neighborhood. It's a nice neighborhood. It's called Old Fart Heights. Oh boy, this is terrible. This is you didn't know you were tuning in for MoJo terrible comedy, right? Okay, bad jokes. Okay, let's see here. Anything else we need to acknowledge or do? No. All right, moving on. Now that we've passed the comedy segment of our program, I'm going to draw you an angel card. This is the Tomorrow deck, and these cards and the Good News Only cards are available. Sorry, cat hair rules my life. Okay, these cards and the Good News Only cards are available on the website, mojomedium.com. Oh, I forgot to show that. Geyser Towers. That was funny, right? Okay. So they are available on the website. Each one comes in its own little beautiful crystal organza bag with instructions from me and la-di-da. And if you need help learning how to use them, I can do that for you as well. One thing that you may not know is that in addition to readings, which granted they're extremely good, but in addition to readings, I love to take people further and deeper with their spiritual exploration and journey. So when I sign a new stars client or a new shining star, and I'm their personal intuitive director, and I invite them to stop waiting in the wings and take center stage of their own life. When we do that, I send you some cards. I send you both decks of cards, and then I teach you how to use them. And that's part of expanding your intuition and learning how to find your way to the better life that you were really meant to have. I mean, it ain't just Oprah who knows how to do this stuff, right? Okay, so the Tomorrow deck always has good guidance for my people. Okay, let's see what we got today. I don't like that one. I think I did this last week where it was like, that's not the right card for you. I don't like it. I'm going to do another one. Okay. This one's good. This one works. Okay. So this is ask for help. And don't you love it that I'm using BeLive.tv instead of my phone to do this? Excuse me. Because when I'm on my phone, this is backward. So it's really nice. Ask for help. So what's important for you to do right now, whenever you see this, this is for you, okay? Don't ever think that, oh, well, I missed the live thing, and it's not accurate anymore. No. If you go to my website, MoJoMedium.com, and you, okay, I don't have that saved. If you go to my website, MoJoMedium.com, and you click on blog, you will find a lot of angel card readings. Now, this is where I put them each time I do an angel card reading for my newsletters, okay? So if you're on my mailing list, you will get an angel card reading in every newsletter, free, and it's a reading for you. And each one says, whenever you may see this or read this, some of them are video, some of them are written. Whenever you see this or read this, this is for you, okay? And that's true when you get a reading, when you participate in a group reading, or when you watch Long Island Medium, or you see John Edward. Every time that they're giving a reading and you go, this is at work. This has to do with, I just realized, yeah, even if you're self-employed like me, ask for help, okay? It can be hard to ask for help, especially, depending on if you work in the kind of environment where you're kind of not really encouraged to ask for help, or you're afraid that if you ask your boss, or if you say to your boss, I don't know how to do this, that he's going to fire you or write you up, or you'll be in trouble somehow. So what this is telling you is it's okay to ask for help, and not only is it okay, and it's safe. It's safe for you to ask for help, but it's something you need to do, because right now you're in a situation where you need a little bit more help than usual with your work, okay? And like I said, I'm just sitting here going, oh my gosh, this is for me too, because they're all for me too. Because why? I'm part of it too. And also because when I did the pre-reading meditation, pre-MoJo show meditation, I asked that they come in, that my angels and guides, as well as yours, and all of our people on the other side, people who have passed and who love us and who have our best interest at heart, I asked that they all come in and join us, and that they be very specific. So there we go. That's the tomorrow cards available on the website, MoJoMedium.com. Once again, if you will comment below with anything you want, you can comment with anything, and I will answer you. If not today, then eventually. But if you'll comment below with Remind Me, you'll be given the link to get to the Remind Me emails on the website. Okay. Let's see here. Next. I want to tell you again about next week. And remember, next week is manifestation week, okay? We're going to be talking about manifestation, how to manifest. Oh, we can say bye-bye to angel cards. We're going to talk about how to manifest, and some amazing manifestations that I have produced in the last few months. I mean, crazy. So it has something to do with the book, Love-Based Money and Mindset by Michelle P.W., and it has something to do with, it might have something to do with Elizabeth Purvis. She is a mentor, a coach. She is, I'm looking at myself and I think, wow, I look kind of silly. Anyway, she's a mentor and a coach, Elizabeth Purvis, Purvis, and she really works on feminine magic. She's kind of a witch, and she teaches people how to manifest. So I don't think she would mind me calling her a witch. And she doesn't know that I'm talking about her, although maybe she does. All right. So next week is manifestation week. Don't miss it. Okay. 11 o'clock on Tuesdays. And that reminds me, I have a question for you. Do you want me to add a second show each week? I do this one on Tuesdays at 11, 11 Central. And I'm thinking about doing another one on Thursday or Friday. And, I could give you angel card readings for the weekend and maybe talk about something else that's come up. It just seems like I always have a lot to say. And, I usually run about 40 minutes on this, and maybe I'll have more to say later in the week. I do often feel like that. It comes down to Thursday or Friday, and I think, gosh, the MoJo show comes around really fast again on Tuesday, but I kind of feel like touching base with people. So let me know your thoughts. Comment below. Should I add a second show? Everybody, right below. Comment below. And remember, I like the thumbs up likes and the heart loves and the oh wows and the smiles if you think I'm funny. All right, which I was earlier. If you missed the comedy, you're going to have to go back on the recording and listen to my stand-up routine. As if, right? Okay. Homemade mocha in my Denver cup. Not scotch, no. And if you saw me drink this is just a lovely, I could tell you it was passion tea, but the truth is it's a little bit of Ocean Spray cranberry drink, diluted heavily with water. That's all it is. So, all right. Moving on to some wow moments. Oh, and I want to ask you also, remember I said, do you think I should add another show? And I'd like to know what you think. Add another show during the week. Only do another show if you have time. It's not too taxing. Are you on YouTube? Yes, Julian, I am on YouTube. And yes, only if I have time and it's not too taxing. That is good advice, because it is very easy to overwork. And to tell you the truth, my husband has a lot to do with me not overworking. He goes to work earlier than I do, and he comes home earlier than I do, or he's off work usually by 5 o'clock. And he always would like for me to be off at 5 and spend the evening with him. And so I usually do. But if it weren't for that, I would totally work until 8 o'clock at night. Easy. It's not like I have little kids at home that I have to take care of, or I don't have to cook dinner for anybody. And I could overwork. So that's very good advice. It's a good reminder for all of us not to overwork, as compelling as it can be, especially if you're self-employed. If you're self-employed, you've always got a gajillion things to do. And, it's easy to keep going. And that I started my first business in 99, and I would do that. And I did have school-age children. And so as soon as they went to school, I would get to work. I would work all day, and then I'd knock off about 3 or 4 when they got home, spend the evening with them. They went to bed at 8 o'clock. I was back on the computer invoicing and analyzing and comparing bids and writing up proposals and, all kinds of stuff, 8 to 10 every night, pretty much. So it's real easy to overwork. And I don't think that this show is too much work. I really don't. I really enjoy it. And I hope that I'm delivering value that you need, something that you need. And so that's another thing you can always comment below with, is something more you'd like to see. I don't know if Sarah Jones is on live. I don't think she's on live. I think she watches me later. Hi, Sarah. How are you? She always gives me great suggestions, and this was one of them, the wow moments. She was like, well, yeah, tell us some wow moments. She also suggested it would be interesting to see you give more information on your craft, the differences between the gifts, and if and how they manifest themselves through people who aren't as in tune, which is great. And I still haven't done it, but I'm gonna. Okay, so now it's time for some wow moments. Wow moments do I have? Oh, yes. One of my favorites. This is Purple Flower with a Face. Now, back in the day, that's the name of the story. It's Purple Flower with a Face. This was in, this is in my book, The Medium. Hold on just a second. I'll show it to you. Maybe someday. Okay, this has a new cover. It's a black. It's the same cover, but it's black, and it's called Dead On: Spirited Stories from a Medium's Diary. And this is exactly what it says. It's just a book of stories of me reading for dead people. Reading for live people, talking to their dead people. Okay. All right, let me see if I can find the story. Actually, it's a longer story than what I was going to tell you, but I can tell you anyway. So it's called Purple Flower with a Face, and this client, this was way back in the day when I used to take clients into my house, which I don't anymore. I haven't done for a long time. I do all my readings by phone and Skype. And Skype is great for those of you overseas, UK, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, anywhere where you can understand me. I've actually read for people in Japan, who spoke English. And I had a client in Mexico who spoke English. I've had 2 clients in Sweden, and they spoke English as well. So, I am pretty handy with Spanish, and I speak a little French, but I wouldn't trust myself to give a reading like that. Okay, one of these days I'm going to find it. Here we go. How about the table of contents? I'm a smart girl, right? Okay, so the man came to my house for a reading. This is insane. Purple flower with a face, purple flower with a face. I'm just going on way too long teasing you with this. This is ridiculous. Okay. I can't find it. Maybe it's not in the book. How about that? Okay. So let's call him Bob. He came to my house, and his wife had passed away within the year before. And so we sat down in my little reading room, and we did the reading. And in the pre-reading meditation for Bob, I heard the word pansy. And I went, pansy. And I thought, is that a name, or could it be Patsy? Could I have misunderstood? No, it was Pansy. So as soon as Bob got there, I said, do you know somebody named Pansy? And he said, no, I don't know anybody named Pansy or Patsy. And I said, well, then do you know what a pansy is? It's that purple flower that looks like it has a face. It's purple and yellow. It kind of has a mustache. It looks like a purple flower with a face. And he was like, no, I don't know. Purple flower with a face. Purple flower with a face. Bob, it's a purple flower with a face. What does this mean to you? Nothing. Got nothing. So finally, I just had to move on because he was not getting the purple flower with the face or what that meant. So we talked to his grandparents, and I'd been seeing these like gardens full of purple flowers with faces. And so this happens sometimes. It's called psychic amnesia. Because we went on and did the reading, and there were some interesting parts of the reading. But the cool thing was that after, an hour and a half, I used to also give really long readings. They'd wear me out, and they'd wear the client out. And so I don't do that anymore. No wearing out of anyone. So at the end, he goes, remember when you were saying purple flower with a face? And I said, yes. And he said, well, when my wife was in the hospital dying, her boss sent her a little vase with a flower. And the flower's like a stuffed animal, but it's in the shape of a flower. And it's a smiley face with purple petals. And after she died, I hung it on the wall in our bedroom. And every morning I look at it and say hello to her. It was a purple flower with a face. Purple flower with a face. So kind of a wow moment. Kind of a frustrating wow moment. So anyway, later he sent me a picture of that. And that story is on my blog. If you go to MoJoMedium.com and search purple flower with a face, you'll find that story. And that's got the whole story with his grandparents and, all that stuff. So that's kind of a cool story. Last week or the week before, I told you about the lady whose husband had been a police officer. And the first thing he told me was that the pain in his lower left quad of his abdomen was gone. And she didn't know what he had ever had wrong there. Nothing wrong with his colon or his kidneys. He had some kidney trouble, but that wasn't the wrong place. And I was like, I can tell where this is. And so I wrote down lower left quad on my notes, which I always scan and send to people after a reading. And so later in the reading, we were talking about her husband's career as a cop. And she said, well, he never got shot. And I said, oh, well, that's great that he never got shot. That's good. And she said, well, he got stabbed a couple of times. I said, where did he get stabbed? In the lower left of his abdomen. So, sometimes the client doesn't get it. But, this is why we work together. This is why we work together and why I write things down, even if you don't know what it is at first. I've done that lots of times where somebody will email me later. Oh, now I know what this means. Oh, now I get it. Okay. So there was another one. Oh, so I had a client named Sue. And this one is definitely in the book. I know this one. Actually, I called her D in the book, just to keep her from being, exposed or whatever. She's passed away since then. So let's see here. I think I'll just read this one to you. I'd like to redo this book. I'd really like to re-edit it. I'm not satisfied with it, and I've got more stories to put in it. Okay. D and Son ×2. Why this one got to me, I don't really know, but I think the feeling was more overflow, joy, and wonder than one of sorrow. What happened first was an everyday occurrence for me, a mini reading at a psychic party in someone's home. Dee had about 15 minutes with me, during which time I gave her a lot of info from spirits on the other side. One of the images I received was from her son, Merrill. He showed me a wreath, and I thought Christmas, but he showed it to me on his head. So I was thinking, I added that maybe it was a laurel wreath, but it made me think of Santa Lucia. Santa Lucia? Lucia. I gestured that this was worn on the head and asked if this meant anything. Dee wasn't sure. Okay. This is that thing where the psychic amnesia, where the client doesn't know. Sometimes medium work is like that. I actually never miss, but the clients sometimes do. Really, we in the biz call it psychic amnesia, a phenomenon in which the client insists that he's never heard of this item or symbol or event, only to remember moments or days later that, yes, Grandpa did have a double-barrel shotgun over the back door, or Mother always carried a lace hanky. But back to my bereaved man. Several days later, I received a large envelope in the mail. Dee had written me a lovely letter explaining what happened as she reviewed the notes I had given her from her mini reading. She saw that I had written wreath and head, and suddenly she got it. She enclosed for my edification a photo of her son Merrill. The original photo was on her refrigerator where she saw it every day, and in it, ta-da, Merrill was wearing a Christmas wreath on his head. He had shown me this very clearly, and this was something she saw every single day. It was on her fridge. She saw it every day. Well, in fairness, Dee had a bit of a hearing problem, so it wasn't until she was looking at what I had written that she fully understood. Okay, Dee went on to explain how the wreath came to be on Merrill's head and told me a little bit about his personality. She was utterly delighted with the mini reading, as was I. As I sat there in my car with the letter and the picture in my lap, I started to cry. There weren't a lot of tears, just some sobbing kind of breaths. I thanked Merrill for coming through so clearly and in a way that was meaningful to his mother, for allowing me to do this for both of them, and once again, I thank the universe for my gifts. I think this is good. This is important for you. Yeah, I just got a chill and was like, oh, they need to know this. Okay, there's another story with Dee and Merrill. Later, Dee had made an appointment for a private reading. Of course, she hoped to hear from Merrill again. Merrill was in his 20s when he passed away from complications from AIDS. He came through easily, and we talked quite a bit about his passing because Dee had some question marks around the timing and the exact events. Then Merrill had something for his sister. Now that let me stop there, because that's where the healing factor comes in. So many people have unanswered questions or worries about their loved ones who have passed. And this is where I can help you find peace with that. Okay. And I will tell you, just generally, people who've passed away, of course, they're not in any pain in heaven. There's no pain in heaven, but they also, they usually will say something along the lines of, that the pain that I suffered wasn't as bad as you thought it was. Things like that. Okay. If somebody went through a long illness or whatever. Okay. Then Merrill had something for his sister. He wouldn't leave me alone until I told Dee. Merrill is saying to tell his sister, Susan, to go ahead and make the Hamburger Helper. I explained that he seemed to be teasing, and I asked if this meant anything to Dee. She looked a bit puzzled. I don't think they eat Hamburger Helper, she said. Maybe they used to when the kids were little, but I will tell her. About a week later, Dee called with the surprising event about Hamburger Helper. It seemed that Susan and her husband, now Susan was Merrill's sister, Dee's daughter. It seemed that Susan and her husband were gourmet cooks and enjoyed food as an art more than simple sustenance. Thus, the idea that Hamburger Helper would enter into their lives was at the very least a little unlikely. When Dee talked to Susan after her reading with me, she said she felt that Merrill was urging her. Tell her, Mama, tell her about the Hamburger Helper. So Dee gave Susan the message I had given her from her brother. Susan said, I have no idea what that means. We haven't even had that in the house for years. But that evening, when Susan returned home from work, she saw that her husband had been to the grocery store. Sitting on the counter was a box of, you guessed it, Hamburger Helper. And Susan's husband didn't even know why he had bought it. He said, I don't know, I just saw it and I bought it. That's, I mean, come on. Give me a wow on that. That's pretty amazing. Okay. Happily, Meryl has since become a familiar friend on the other side. When I received a reading from a fellow medium, she said that many people from the other side were grateful to me, but there was one young man in particular who expressed gratitude for how I had helped his mother. Thank you, Meryl. And like I said, his mother has since passed away. She died unexpectedly, and they definitely hang out together. But Meryl was one of those who, one of those that I call my friends of distinction. He's somebody who's in heaven that I've talked to a lot, not just for his mother, if that makes sense. Okay. It's getting kind of late. I'm going to do one more quick wow moment. I was doing a psychic party at somebody's house. Okay, two. Well, this isn't a wow, but this was funny. I did a psychic party in somebody's house, and I don't usually go to people's houses anymore unless I know them. I'll go to, we'll do a room in a restaurant, and we can do a psychic party. So, I was doing the psychic party, and after I was done, it was almost all family. They were all related to each other, which is sometimes how you do. So after the party was over, I sent around a legal pad and said, please put your comments or reviews on there. That'd be great. And this one woman, she had been kind of difficult during the whole thing, and she wrote down, didn't hear from who I wanted and didn't like what I heard from those I did. And I just thought, I laughed so hard when I saw that, because I thought, here I am performing what's practically a miracle, talking to people that she knew who had passed away, and yet she's not satisfied because they weren't the ones she wanted to hear from, and the ones she did hear from didn't tell her what she wanted to hear. So I at least felt like, well, that's an acknowledgement of my gifts at the very least. Okay, the wow moment is about B. This woman's name was actually B. Her grandson, her mother, her grandson. I think it was maybe it was her. Okay, let's say it was her grandson. Thank you, Julian. Yeah, see, that's a wow, right? I know. So it's not Julian. The son was at this psychic party at somebody's house, a different one from the grumpy lady. And I told him there was his grandmother. I brought through his grandmother and was talking about her and describing her. And he was kind of looking at me. And his wife said, yeah, that sounds like B. And I said, who's B? And they said, well, that B was my grandmother, that was my grandmother. And so we talked to B and her sister and did some stuff. And then somebody in the group said, there's a B on your skirt. And I had this skirt that had kind of like little ruffly things, and let's not go into it. It was pretty. It was pretty, and it was probably very cheap. So I had been standing next to a little low table that had some knickknacks on it. And one of the knickknacks was a bumblebee. I think it was the top of a little box or something. And it had gotten caught on my skirt. And it was actually hanging on my skirt. And it was B. And that I had just been talking to someone named B. And how weird is all of that, right? And it turned out that her grandson, the B's grandson, who was getting the reading, had been like completely skeptical beforehand. And we took a quick break, and he came up to me and he was like, can I have a hug? I was like, this is amazing. It was very cool. Okay, so that's a nice wow. All right, moving right along. Those are my wows for today. Let's see what I'm missing. Wanted to tell you again, I want to comment, tease again, the big tease. Next week's show is going to be about manifestation, both my own and yours. Okay, so you don't want to miss that. And I asked you about second show. I want to ask you again if you would please share this video when you see it as the recording. If you would please share it for me, I'd really appreciate that. Share it with your friends. Tell them that what you think. This lady's kind of cool. This lady's kind of weird. This lady has a great haircut. Yes. Okay, so I'm shuffling the Good News Only deck. Now, this is the other deck of oracle cards that I've designed, that I was inspired to design. And the Good News Only deck is exactly what it says. good news only fortune telling cards, because we all need good news, and this deck can never be interpreted to be anything but. Okay, so when you pull a card from this deck, and you can get them at MoJoMedium.com, when you pull a card from this deck, you will always see good news. This is something you can look forward to. And part of the reason that I did these is that people tend to be sort of doomsayers, you know? I mean, I'll get questions like, instead of saying, what do I need to know? They'll say, is there anything I need to watch out for? Anything I need to be prepared for? Anything bad coming? Well, sweetie, come on, let's stay positive. I mean, you know, if you act like that, then you do attract bad things, right? So we're going to do interesting. Okay, so today's good news only card is only good news, and that is relief from worry. So in the next day, the next few days, the next week, and remember, just like anytime you hear a reading, it is for whenever you hear it. It's for you. Okay, so this is not just for me. It's not just for other people watching. It's for you. Relief from worry. And this is really cool because it has to do with your home, wherever you live. Whatever you've been worried about that has to do with your home, whether it's, will I have to move, or I am moving, how stressful will that be, or I have to have repairs made on my home, or yeah, I don't have a home, or I need to go home and visit my mom. Anything about your home that you've been worried about, you will have relief from that worry this week. That is good news. That's a good one. I like it. Do you like it? I like it. Okay. I think we're just about done. Let me see if I've missed anything. I want to ask you again to please share, please like, please comment, please make me stop hitting the microphone so that it makes a big loud noise. Anytime you have questions for me and you want to put a question in the comment, I'll be happy to answer you. I want to mention, though, that I don't want to do readings in this venue. I'm focused on other things, and I don't feel like that's really what this is for. But I may do readings in this. In fact, Julian, you know, you mentioned about only do a second show if you have the time. Maybe I should do a second show with readings. I know people would go gaga for that. So I'll play with it. I'll play with it. The thing is, I used to do free readings on Facebook, and it got to where it was really, it wore on me. It wore on me a lot. It was not the best use of my psychic energy. So I hesitate to do that, but I welcome your comments to that effect. Anything that you have to say or ask me about, please comment below, and I will definitely get back to you. And I think for today, we're going to wrap up. Remember, next week is Manifestation Week. It's very exciting. I've got some huge news for you. And visit the website. Go to MoJoMedium.com. Comment below with what you want to know and what you like about the show. And I thank you so much for being here. Love, love, love having you. Thank you, thank you. Again, until next time, I remain... Oh, hold on. Let's see. It's the MoJo Show with your MoJo medium, Susan K. Morrow-Johnson. So I remain your MoJo medium, Susan K. Morrow-Johnson, and you be good.